Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's edition of PWCI. This week, I'm the Mad Conservative Crime Fighter. Today, we're at 01 USA Supreme in Mattoon as we conduct a rare interview with Pierre St. Pierre as he approaches possibly the final match of his career, in which, if he doesn't win a championship, he will retire. Pierre St. Pierre, you came to the ring tonight.
Yes, sir.
You made a statement that you were going to face the winner for the 01 USA heavyweight title, whether it had been Shank or
KLD,
Kevin Lee Davidson. Shank retained the title. January the 27th, 2018, the next time 01 runs an event, and I'm assuming it's back in Mattoon, you put your career on the line. It's title versus career.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not win the title, you will retire. Implications of that stipulation is you could still win the match by countout or disqualification.
Right. So
but still.
Yeah. Well, just to let you know, there is a show before the 27th here in January. The next show will be the week before the 20th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the 20th, and that'll be in Toulon, Illinois. So there'll be that show, and I'll be there performing as well. And I don't know who I'm facing at that point. I don't know what's going on with that. But when it comes to the 27th here in Mattoon, yes, I am the #1 contender. Yes, I will be facing Shank Barzini. Tonight, I was kind of interested to see who won that match, because Shank has been champion for, I want to say, almost a year now.
Yeah.
And he's been facing everybody all over the place. That's the one thing I love about 01 is that our titles are defended everywhere. They're international titles. They've been defended overseas. They've been defended in Mexico, here in the States, all over the place. So all of our titles travel, and that's part of the mystique of 01 USA, is that we're where we are the USA branch of 01. We see our titles defended all over the world. But to get back to the question at hand, yes, about a year ago, as we were talking, like this is what I said when we were out there, is that there were some guys in the back there saying, I'm getting too old, the gray hair's starting to show through, I need to step aside and let the young talent come in, and I need to be out of the way. So we made an example of some of the young talent who thought that they were bigger, badder, better than the bear, and showed them that I still had it. But at the same time, I made a declaration that if by January of next year, if I don't walk out of the Mattoon show, the Mattoon 01 USA Pro Wrestling show at the Burgess Osborne Auditorium as the champion with the title around my waist, that I would then put my boots up. I would then step away. I would then retire and give the young guys their opportunities and get out of the way. Because I said, if I can't be the best, then there's no point in competing. And the only way that I can prove that I'm the best is by taking that title away from Shank and putting it around my waist. So that's really what it comes down to. At this point, Shank, I think, has one more opportunity to defend before he and I face each other at that Toulon show in Toulon, Illinois on the 20th. But other than that, I don't know who he's facing at this point in time. I don't know if he does. But if that person happens to win, then that's who I'll be facing on the 27th. When we went into tonight's main event, I was kind of thinking to myself, Shank is a formidable opponent. The guy's been on top for a long time. And it's going to be a tough road. He and I have never faced each other in the ring. As far as I can remember, he and I have never faced each other. And then I was thinking about, well, if KLD happens to take this title away from Shank tonight, man, that's going to be a rough road. He's a mountain of a man. I faced him before at the Rising Monster tournament, and he got the better of me that evening. But what it did do is I got a chance to see what he could do, and it would allow me to help prepare for him. So as much as I am looking forward, or was looking forward to maybe getting a chance to see KLD again in the squared circle facing Shank, is kind of a great opportunity for me, because we've never locked up, never locked horns in the squared circle, and it'd be fun to see if I can come out on top with that.
Now, you said younger guys were wanting you to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Considering this match is you have to win the title to continue your wrestling career.
Right.
You will still be forced to retire if you win by DQ or count out. You know, as with Harker Dirge, when he had his career versus career match against Jason V, all sorts of people decided to stick their nose into the match. Prediction, how are you going to handle if some of these young guys take the opportunity to interfere in the match to make sure you don't win the title so they can get you out of the way?
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that 0-1 management has really cracked down on that type of thing. And one of the things that they've said is that they want this to be a proving ground for me to see if I can, come away with the title from Shank. I don't foresee anyone interfering with this match. It's something that's really being talked about around the locker room. Because see, here's what happened, guys. A year or more ago when this whole thing began, nobody thought or nobody expected me to actually win enough to become the #1 contender. And now that it has happened, I think a lot of guys who were the ones running at the mouth have kind of stepped back and said, well, maybe he still has a little bit in him. Maybe there's still a little bit of gas in the tank. Maybe he's going to prove us all wrong. And there's a lot of respect in the locker room about what I've accomplished over this year and getting to the point where I am the #1 contender. I really don't foresee that being the situation. A lot of the young guys who have had their comeuppance have kind of come to their senses in a way. Some of them have realized that wrestling is a lot tougher than what they thought and can no longer participate as a wrestler because of injuries and things like that. And I think the respect that I've been around for so long, that I've come back from the injuries and that I've been able to be in this business for 20 years and still be able to perform at the level I'm performing. I think we won't have that problem. I don't think we'll have the problem that Harker Dirge had. I don't have the enemies, I guess you could say, that Harker had. Harker was a formidable opponent, but Harker also had a lot of guys that were gunning for him at that match that I think wanted to just see that happen. Where I do have enemies, but the difference is that I think that we've lived and learned over the year of that, and I don't foresee that being another situation in 0-1 USA where we'll have a lot of interference in that manner.
All right, well, can't say it may not happen because I've seen so much over the years. I pretty much play out every freaking scenario in my head.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty sure it's going to be just Shank and I. He wants to... See, the thing about it is you got to also understand that Shank wants to prove that he can beat me. Shank doesn't want Shank +1. Shank wants Shank. Shank's one of those opponents. He's similar to like any champion. He wants to prove that he is the champion, that he is the best. And if he's going to retain that title against Bear St. Pierre, he wants it to be Shank versus Bear, not Shank +1 or Shank +2 or interference. I can guarantee that he would explode in the locker room if something like that happened. He'd go back there and he'd crack skulls and do some unsightly things to some people if they interfered in that match. So I'm pretty sure that we can count that out, that there won't be anybody else coming out to interfere with that situation. But it is wrestling and anything can happen. I plan on leaving it all on the line out there. I will either earn the title or die trying that evening. So.
All right, well.
So when are you going to ask me the hard questions as well?
That was the hard question. It's like, what if somebody interferes in your match? That was the hard question.
Okay. I don't foresee that happening with the two guys, with Shank and I being in the match. I don't foresee that being the case. I mean, it's one thing when you're doing a career versus Jason V, and Jason V has guys waiting in the wings. Jason V doesn't necessarily need to have the pride that comes along with that win. It was more of a can we get rid of Harker type of win. Where my situation with Shank is a lot different. So let's see who's the best. And so far he's been proven he's the best. And he's the one I have to beat. You know, like they say, to be the best, you got to beat the best. So my opportunity is I got to beat the best so I can say I am the best.
Win or lose, you're still going to be a part of 0-1. Maybe not wearing the boots, but you've been doing a lot behind the scenes.
I do help out a lot. I give a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of things that have been lost over the years. Simple things on how to tie on a ring apron. Guys don't know how to do stuff like that anymore. The training is been more focused on other things rather than putting on a great product. We used to joke when I was young that you can do all these flippies and floppies, but can you do a top wrist lock? Now it's, you can get in the ring, but can you, do you know how to do anything else? So trying to help
the
these
bizarre
guys
thing is there's people who think training is optional.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that a lot of people don't understand. Like I've lived off of professional wrestling for a big portion of my life. I've understood this as a business. I've treated it like a business. I've had business sponsors and personal sponsors all of my life through wrestling. I've not had to treat wrestling as my part-time hobby job. I've lived and breathed wrestling. That was my job. That's how I paid my bills, and that's how I bought the things I wanted to buy, and bought the house and my cars and my Harley and my tractor and all the wonderful things that I love to do is all been paid for by wrestling. And a lot of guys have lost that. They don't know how that works anymore. And for the guys that are willing to take the time to learn and sit down and learn from me, I'll be more than happy to teach them. To the guys that don't, I just, hey, c'est la vie, go work in the factory during the week and then come wrestle on the weekends. But, I still live off of all of that. And, I used to work out 5 hours a day, and I was able to do that in the gym 5 hours a day because the people were sponsoring me to do so. And, that's how I made my living, and all based on wrestling. And, a lot of guys have lost that. They don't want to do that. It's hard work. You can't just come and work on the weekends and hope that's going to pay the bills. You got to get that stuff during the week. You got to work out during the week. I think that's why I've been such a long-standing champion, a long-standing wrestler, and one of the highest paid guys on the independents is because, I've proven myself, and it's not a hobby for me. I go to the gym every day. I don't put in the 5 hours I used to. I do a lot more of the cardio and calisthenics than I do the heavy weightlifting training now. As a lot of the guys say, as you get older, that stuff is harder on your joints, but you can still stay in shape, and I've been able to do that. And, we'll see who comes out on top, me or Shank, So if guys want to learn, how to live as a wrestler, then I'm more than happy to show those guys. If guys want to learn how to just come in on the weekends and do that, then that's what they can do. There's a lot of places that'll teach you how to do that. But that's what I try to do with these young guys, The ones that'll listen, you got a lot of hard heads out there, but the ones that are willing to learn and want to know, hey, how do you do this? How is it that on Monday morning I'm getting up and going to the job, you're getting up and going to the gym and working out? How is it that you're able to work out in the ring throughout the week where I have to go sit and stamp, candy bars or whatever people do around here, shucking corn and all that stuff. Nothing wrong with any of that. Hard work is hard work, but if you're a wrestler, you should be working on wrestling, not on something else. You're slicing meat at the deli, that's what the butcher's for. It's not what the wrestler's supposed to be doing. And I love the butcher, and I go buy my meat from him, but at the same time, I gotta maintain what it means to be a wrestler and do those things.
Well, Abdullah slices the meat. You know that.
Well,
he runs a barbecue.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't. Yeah, he runs his own. He has his restaurants, but that's, But I don't think he's back there slicing the meat. I think he's paying people to do that.
0-1 is continue to expand in 2018.
Yeah.
How far do you?
0-1. To me, 0-1 is the best product around. 0-1 will continue to expand. I don't spend a lot of time commenting on Facebook stuff, but I do see stuff now and again, and guys tag me and things. I found it interesting that I don't know if he's a promoter anymore, but he was a promoter out of Springfield. But he put some post up on why is it that guys can't draw out their shows because, unless it's like a charity show where they're partnering with somebody, and I'm like, well, because you're not promoting. The thing with 01 is there's a lot of guys here that work hard, and we all have a part to play, and we do what we do. We don't worry about the other guy's role, we worry about our role, and that's why we are successful. That's why we draw. That's why we have guys that want to come in our door rather than guys wanting to run out our door. We try to pay the wrestlers the best we can with what we have coming in. We have, think about it, we have WWE talent that want to be here. Not, okay, come when we, they want to be here month to month and show to show. And, we had Ashley, I don't know, at like 5 or 6 shows in a row because she wanted to be here. And she still wants to be here. We have TNA people come and want to be here. We're growing and we're going to keep going. As you can see, our ring we've gotten some new attire for the ring. We're going to keep working hard. I want to thank High Spots for all they did for us to get that stuff here to us in a timely manner to make sure we had it on time. They gave us great deals and all that stuff, and we're going to continue to work with them as we grow. And we're just going a little bit at a time. Every time we got a little bit extra money, we put it back into the company to improve it. And we're just going to keep doing that and growing and traveling. Our goal is to get all over the major cities, and then maybe start expanding out beyond the confines of our Central Illinois hub. We got plans to take it to Mexico. We got plans to go to Canada. We just got to get those things worked out with the logistics, and our goal is we're going to make it as big as some of the other independent promotions, and we'll go from there. 01 is an international brand. It's headquartered in Japan. That's where the 01 headquarters are. They're all over Europe. They're all over Central America. They're all over Illinois and the United States. They share, the talent, and our goal is to just see it grow. And as a 01 USA heavyweight champion, I'll have the opportunities to go visit and all these other promotions that exist in the area and throughout the states, and then defend the title just like the other guys did. Maybe go to Japan like some of the other guys did. It's just an amazing opportunity. I'm looking forward to having that opportunity, and I'm looking forward to putting that title around my waist come January 27th at Burgess Osborne Auditorium in Mattoon, Illinois. So
you mentioned the accessories for the ring. Not even Dreamweb had that stuff. They didn't have their printed ring apron with the 01 logos on it. They didn't have the They may have had the Dreamwave logo on the turnbuckles, but I don't remember.
That was a great promotion. They had a lot of good things going for them. I don't concern myself with the dealings of other folks. So I don't compare I don't do that comparing thing. I just look at our product and how we can make it better. So I know that those guys did great. I heard a lot through the grapevine that it was a great place to work, and they had winning opportunities there. That they had good showings of their shows. A lot of fans showed up and people really loved them. So I don't get into that whole we're better than that guy, or arguing with people online about what they're doing. We don't do that here. That's childish stuff. And I hope everybody can do the best. The way I look at it, the more if you can have a successful promotion and get people into independent wrestling, that's just better for all of us. If we can have 01s everywhere, that's fine too. If we have other promotions that are doing great and having good showings and good matches and things like that, I'm all for that. Because if this guy over here learns about pro wrestling and learns about independent pro wrestling rather than just the big market products, and willing to come to our shows and his shows, some of these fans that we have, they travel to all the different places, and they're willing to give everybody a shot at least once. And as long as we all do well, I think we'll keep the fans interested. But I don't concern myself with who's doing what or what. We just concern ourselves with what we're doing here. And people looking from the outside, they want to be a part of it, hey, we're more than happy to do that. We have, people ask, well, how is it that we get around with these different locations? Well, a lot of it is because of team. It's a team. We got people in Toulon who are there promoting the show and doing all the setup and getting everything ready for that particular show. Same thing with our Maroa show, our Maroa Decatur area. We have that Maroa show, and the reason why we're able to do such a great job there is because there's people there in those communities that are finding the sponsors. They're there promoting the show, selling the tickets, getting everything ready so that night of that show it's taken care of. And the same thing done here in Mattoon and what we used to do in Champaign when we had the bookings in Champaign with the fluid events before they shut down. Everybody just does their part. We worry about that, and then our goal is to keep pushing. Somebody asked us about doing a show in Lincoln. I know there's another promotion that does that, and I'd be more than happy to do a show in Lincoln. I have a lot of connections in that town, and I'd love to do something there. But at the same time, we'd have to have the team in place to make that happen. And right now, we have a lot of interest, but we don't have the people who have said, "Hey, I want to run with that," which is fine. But there is a promotion there, and from my understanding, they're doing well. And if they can do well, then that just makes it better. So when we show up, people will come see our product as well, and then what we'll do is, we'll put on a great product so that way they'll be interested in what they're doing there on a regular basis, and then the fans can kind of get a look at both products and just say, hey, they're both great. Let's get more of our friends and come to see these shows. So
I know there are a couple of major markets that nobody's gone into, and I can't understand why. And you probably know which two I'm talking about.
I'm not which two. I don't know which
Bloomington. Nobody runs in Bloomington.
We do.
Galley did that one, but those 2 shows in Bloomington early this year, but nobody's running Bloomington.
I can't tell you what Galley did or didn't do. I
was there, so I know.
I was there for one of their shows, but I wasn't there for the second one. But
you were there. You went the ring to them.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, but we've run in Bloomington. We've done shows with ISU, and we do that when ISU calls us to come do those shows. We go and do the shows at ISU, but we don't run a regular. We've thought about running regular there, but it's really close to Maroa and Decatur. So people can come down 51 from Bloomington to that show as well. That's part of why we like Maroa, because it's kind of in between these two bigger cities. So a lot of times, though, the problem when you have, like the same thing we had in Champaign, the problem when you have these college towns is that there's so much for these kids to do and for the people in the town to do. There's so many different things with the culture of getting out there that it's sometimes hard to get your voice out there that you have. Like in Champaign, for example, you got 200,000 people between Champaign and Urbana. But to get on campus and to get all those people to know about it and come to a show, the logistics is really a difficult thing, because a lot of them don't have a way of travel. So if you're not doing it on campus, it's hard to get them to come off of campus to come to do something. And there's just, other than the assembly hall, there's really no place to do a wrestling show. And, we just didn't.
It was the Fluid Event Center before that.
Yeah, well, the Fluid Event Center was who we had our contract with, and we couldn't get the kids to come over to Champaign out of the university.
Yeah.
And but we did have a lot of people from Champaign, but those same people that from Champaign, Mattoon's not too far away, and our fans will drive from Champaign down here to Mattoon. It's just a ride down 57, so it makes it easy for them to still be a part. So that's allowing them to do that. But yeah, our goal is we'd like to get into the Peoria market. We'd like to, we'd like
that was
to get
the other one I was
Springfield.
thinking.
Yeah, I'd love to do Peoria and Springfield. We've talked about that. We really like to do those two markets. I miss Chicago. I came up in the old LWF with those guys, and those were such great opportunities and great shows. And there's not a microphone man better than Billy Wack in my mind. I still love thinking about the things that he did and the way he presented things, and just that whole crew of guys from that group, and they were at Blitz, and I never got to get up to see a Blitz show, and I really kind of regret that, because I wanted to see a Blitz show and see all those guys. I did see a lot of those guys at the Resistance thing when I was at the Resistance show, but I just really would have preferred to get a chance to see Blitz, just to see all those guys. I miss seeing a lot of those guys, and we had a great time when it was LWF before all that, it ran its course.
01 can run in Chicago. What about it?
It's the logistics of it. We'd have to have somebody up there that would be willing to kind of be the guy that goes ahead of us to set everything up. They talk about the guys that are still running at Bourbon Street. I can't believe Bourbon Street's still doing wrestling. That's awesome. Bourbon Street, I love doing those shows. Love being at those shows. That was a blast and a half doing Bourbon Street stuff. I love going to the Urban Eagles Club and seeing those guys, seeing all the boys from up there. It's just, we've just not had an opportunity to go up there and do our thing, and it is what it is for right now. But I think we're focusing on this Central Illinois market, getting the rest of these big cities hit, and then we'll go from there. So some people have even asked about going further south, like going down to like maybe the Irving, Vandalia, Hillsborough area, stuff like that. So we'll just see where it takes us. A lot of it's going to depend upon, like I said, having the people in the local communities to grow the product. So.
All right, Bear St. Pierre, I want to thank you for talking with us today.
Yeah.
Didn't intend to do a whole.
Well,
I did do a short interview, but now it's like this is a whole episode of PWCI with This Week now, so I'm going to put it on TV.
Well, do what
awesome.
you want to do, bud. Just make sure that you send me the check.
Send you the check. Public access television, you get free airtime.
Well,
Plug your show one more time.
All right, well, the two shows that are coming in January, we're going to have a break for the holidays. And then the two shows in January is January 20th in Toulon, Illinois, which is a little bit by Peoria. And then the other one is back here in Mattoon, Illinois, which is going to be January 27th. And that's where you'll see me, Bear St. Pierre, #1 contender, taking on Shank Barzini, our current champion. And like we were talking about earlier, if I don't walk out of that night with the title around my waist, I will no longer be wrestling. I will hang it up. I will put the boots on the shelf, and will put my gear away in the closet and be done with my in-ring performances. So our goal is to come away that night with the title. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, Bear St. Pierre, thank you. That'll do it for this edition of PWCI This Week. I'm the Conservative Crime Fighter. Have a good night, everybody.